Hello everyone, and welcome back to Vibrant Midlife, the channel dedicated to making our middle years our best years. I'm David.
And I'm your helpmate, Emily. Today we're diving into something really crucial for starting your running journey: choosing the right running shoes and gear. A lot of people think all you need is a pair of shoes, but the right gear can make a huge difference in your enjoyment and consistency.
It really does. When I first started, I just wore any old sneakers I had. Within 2 weeks, I had blisters on my soles and my knees were aching so much I had to see a doctor. That's when I learned the hard way just how important running shoes are. Emily, what's the first thing you look for when choosing a pair?
For me, it's all about foot shape and cushioning. Especially as we get into midlife, the natural fat pads on the bottoms of our feet get thinner, and our joints are more vulnerable, so good cushioning is essential. And every brand has a different fit, feel, and material, so it's critical to try them on in person, walk, and even jog a little in the store. David, you have wider feet, right?
I do. If it's not a wide fit, my feet feel squeezed and I can't last long. It's amazing how the same size can feel completely different between brands. For example, brand A might be super cushioned but narrow, while brand B is wider but a bit heavier. That's why I always go to a store, try on 3 or 4 different brands, and even ask the staff for recommendations based on my foot shape.
Exactly. And it's important to replace your running shoes every 1 to 2 years, or after about 500 kilometers, around 300 miles. When the sole wears down, it loses its ability to absorb shock, which dramatically increases your injury risk. I once wore a pair for over 3 years because I felt bad getting rid of them, and I ended up spraining my ankle. Now I replace them regularly, and my old running shoes become my walking shoes.
Shoe care is really important too. After a run, I let my shoes air dry in the shade and stuff some newspaper inside to absorb moisture. It helps with the smell and makes them last longer. And I try to hand wash them if possible. The washing machine can weaken the adhesives and shorten their lifespan.
That's so true. And just as important as shoes is your clothing. I always make sure I have a technical shirt that wicks away sweat and dries fast, a windbreaker, and depending on the season, a hat and gloves. In the summer, you need light, breathable clothes, and in the winter, you need layers that provide warmth but also let sweat escape. What do you look for in apparel, David?
I have sensitive skin, so if sweat builds up, I break out easily. I prefer clothes with minimal seams or ones that are tagless. In the winter, I dress in 3 layers: a base layer, a mid layer, and a windbreaker. And in the summer, I sometimes wear a UV blocking long sleeve shirt. If your clothes are uncomfortable, it's impossible to focus on your run.
Right, and socks. Socks are so important. Regular cotton socks trap sweat and are a recipe for blisters. Running specific socks often have separated toes or extra cushioning to protect your feet. I also learned that lesson the hard way with some painful blisters. It's the small things that make a big difference.
I only realized how important socks were after I started running. For longer distances, toe socks are a game changer for me. And just like shoes, you need to replace your socks regularly. When the cushioning wears out, it puts more stress on your feet.
Accessories can also add to the fun and safety of running. I use a running smartwatch to track my distance, pace, and heart rate, and I have a running belt for my phone, keys, and an energy gel. For night running, I always wear a reflective band or an LED light. Safety has to come first.
I used to get so annoyed with my earphone cords getting tangled, but switching to wireless earbuds made my runs so much more pleasant. And a water bottle or hydration belt is a must for longer runs. I once tried to run 10 kilometers without water and almost passed out from dehydration.
You don't need to get obsessed with gear, but having shoes that fit, comfortable clothes, and a few necessary accessories makes running so much more enjoyable. And it's okay to make mistakes while finding what works for you. I started with cheaper products and gradually figured out what I really needed.
The price range makes a difference too. For a beginner, a running shoe in the $50 to $100 range and some basic technical clothing and socks are more than enough. As you get more advanced, you can start looking into specific features like cushion level, weight, and energy return, and choose accessories that fit your style. More expensive doesn't always mean better.
And shopping for gear with family or friends can be a great memory. I went with my son to pick out running shoes and we had fun trying them on and taking pictures. My husband wasn't interested in running at first, but after I bought him a new pair of shoes, he suddenly got motivated and started running with me.
I remember going to the store with a friend, and it was fascinating to see how different our foot shapes were. He has flat feet and needed a shoe with arch support, while I needed a wide fit. Those experiences build your understanding of gear and make the sport more enjoyable.
Taking care of your gear is part of running too. If you wash your shoes, clothes, and socks right after a workout and let them air dry in the shade, they'll last much longer. This is especially important in the summer when things can get smelly. Store your shoes away from direct sunlight and hang your clothes in a well-ventilated area.
I learned that lesson when I left my shoes on the porch and the sun discolored them and made the sole hard. Now it's always in the shade with newspaper inside. And I found that using a sports-specific detergent instead of fabric softener helps the clothes maintain their technical properties longer.
As we get older, our bodies aren't the same as they used to be. So getting a little help from our gear is really important. It plays a huge role in protecting our joints, aiding recovery, and preventing injury. After I started running, I began using things like a knee brace and calf compression sleeves, and I definitely felt less fatigue.
That's true. And you can't ignore the psychological boost. A new pair of shoes makes you want to get out the door, and wearing a nice outfit can boost your confidence. I know whenever I get new running shoes, I find myself running more often.
And we've all had bad experiences too. I once bought a pair of shoes online that were on sale, but they didn't fit and I had to return them. Another time I bought a shirt that claimed to be technical, but it just absorbed sweat and got heavy. But it's through those experiences that you find what truly works for you.
I once bought a really cheap pair of shoes and the sole literally fell off after 2 weeks. After that, I stopped looking only at the price and made sure to check the fit and cushioning. And asking for advice from store employees is always a good idea.
There are a lot of myths about gear. It's not always the most expensive or famous brand that's best. The best gear is what fits your foot and your running style. And for clothes, comfort and function are far more important than the logo.
I agree, and I think running gear isn't just a tool for exercise. It's a partner in improving your health and quality of life. If you choose and care for your gear well, you can continue running longer and more joyfully.
After listening to today's episode, take a moment to check your own running shoes, clothes, and socks. And tomorrow, with a fresh mindset and the right gear for your body, we hope you'll take another light step forward.
Next time, we'll talk about proper running form and breathing techniques. Thanks for joining us today.